good, YouTube? Masex back with another video, and today we're going to be looking at my top 5 corners for the 2024 NFL Draft. Corners, very near and dear to my heart. Corners still something that I always look at. Some of my favorite players of all time. Deion Sanders. Ed Reed wasn't a corner, but he was a defensive back. Like, those were guys that I admired through my teenage years. This list here are my top 5. Of course, it's fluid. You may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. I actually want that. I want that discussion. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. We're on the road to 1K, and I appreciate you guys for supporting. It really helps, but I've talked enough. Let's look at these corners. And without further ado, let's get to it. We're going to start at number 5 and work our way to my number 1 corner in this class. And at number 5, I have Terion Arnold out of Alabama, listed at 6 foot, around 196 pounds. Was recruited as a safety. He was then switched over to corner, and ever since then he's developed incrementally every year, still learning and developing to become what many project that outside corner. But man, he's flashed so much potential, especially this past year in the 23 season. This year, 5 picks. There were some that came right to him. Nonetheless, he's a guy that makes plays on the ball. Anybody that loves football and loves defenses love players that make plays on the ball, and he's one of those. One of the better tacklers in this class, which you presume to an extent, being that he was a safety recruit originally coming out of high school. This season, PFF ranked as the 12th best corner in the nation. 79 targets, only allowed 41 receptions, so that's really good. His PFF grade was 88.3, which was one of the highest for all corners in the nation. Athleticism, while watching him, isn't the most athletic, doesn't jump off the screen. Wouldn't surprise him if he runs a 4.4, but he's got solid size and length, and I still think that wouldn't prevent him from being what he potentially could be, which is an outside lockdown CB1. Next up, my number 4 corner in this class is Quin Mitchell out of Toledo. Listed at 6 foot, 196 pounds roughly. Quin Mitchell isn't a well-known prospect, probably to the average individual. Comes from a smaller school. Toledo's a group of 5 school. They're not on TV ever, but this guy can play some football. Trust and believe. It wouldn't surprise me if this dude ends up becoming a star at the next level. He's got everything that you look for. He's got the size. He's a ball hawk. Last year in 2022, 5 interceptions. This year didn't match that, but that's also because quarterbacks didn't throw to him like they did last year in comparison. PFF grade 91.4, the number 1 ranked cornerback in 2023 according to Pro Football Focus. That means something. Was only targeted 62 times, only allowed 27 receptions, 0 touchdowns given up. I looked at a few games. He's definitely a 4.3 guy as well. So he's got size at 6 foot 200. It wouldn't surprise me if he runs 4.36, 4.37, 4.35. Now, some of the knocks that may be applied to Quin Mitchell is just competition, quality of receivers he was guarding, quality of quarterbacks that were throwing the ball. But like I said earlier, if you're going to play group of 5, you have to dominate, and that's what he did. Pro Football Focus also agrees he's one of the better cornerbacks in this class. My number 3 cornerback is Koolaid McKenzie out of Bama, listed at 6'1", around 195, 200 pounds. He has the size of the ideal corner. He's your ideal lockdown press man coverage. That's when he's most comfortable, and that's when he's at his best, particularly short to intermediate routes. He's going to mirror you like white on rice, basically. Best mirror skills that I've seen of all the DBs that I've looked at this year, man-to-man is going to be elite at the next level, I personally feel. Now, a lot of people do have him as the number 1, number 2 corner. I'm not as high just because there's 2 guys that I like better, but Koolaid McKenzie definitely has the potential to be a Pro Bowl, all-pro-like corner shut you down, leave him on an island. He has all the traits that you want to see. I do have concerns about his overall athleticism. Very agile, but as far as speed, I can see a future where he struggles with guys that really love the deep routes. I saw a little bit more than I was expecting him struggle with deeper routes and staying in front of his man. There were times on deep routes, even if they weren't completed, where he was beat. So those are my concerns. But nonetheless, man, his man coverage skills are off the charts. At number 2, I have Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Listed at 6'1", 207, 210 pounds. One of my favorite players in the draft, regardless of position. He's just exciting to watch his career at Iowa. He's really dangerous with the ball in his hands as well. So I'm always a sucker for DBs that cause turnovers. Cooper DeJean is one of those. And he's really dangerous with the ball in his hands. So it's like a 2-for-1 special. Kind of similar to Ed Reed. Cooper DeJean, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up switching to more of a slot safety type of hybrid role, just because you want to put this guy all over the field. There are also athleticism concerns as well for Cooper DeJean. Not really sure outside man coverage corner on an island if that would suit his game and skill set at the NFL level, guarding those receivers on the outside. But he's special enough where you can pretty much put him all over the field and tell him to make plays. PFF gave him a grade of 77.4. Only played 10 games, had some injuries this year, was targeted 46 times, only allowed 20 receptions. But as I mentioned, questionable athleticism. I do have concerns about that. Not sure if he can be left on an island with receivers. But this guy is going to be exciting, fun to watch, and he's going to be one of those fan favorites. Mark my words. My number 1 corner in the 24 class is Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. 6'2", about 180, 185 pounds. He's your press corner. He's your playmaker. You put him out on that island and you tell him to lock down that receiver. He's also one of those guys, he's a hustle player. There were a couple instances where I saw chase down tackles where he made up 10, 15 yards of ground and even caused fumbles on chase down tackles. Like, you can't coach that. He's also not afraid to put his head in there in the run game and make a play. Not the best tackler overall, but you see the aggression, you see the tendency, the tenacity to stick his head in there and make a play for his defense. And I also saw good hands. When the ball's in the air, he wants to make a play just as a receiver would. And he has the speed that you want to see. I think he'll be a low 4.3 guy. Good enough speed to stay in front of any receiver on any route. PFF gave him a grade of 81.1. I think that he still hasn't touched anything near of his full potential. He has all the traits that you want to see, but as far as an outside lockdown corner, to me, this guy is the best in this class. All right, there you have it. My top 5 corners for the 2024 draft class. If you made it this far in the video, deeply appreciate it. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. Helps the channel grow as we're on the road to that 1K, and we're getting closer and closer, so I deeply appreciate it. The list is fluid. There's a lot of time still between now and the NFL draft. So I'll be posting on volume 2 for all the draft positions that we've talked about after majority of the pro days have ended at that point. But like I said, I appreciate the support, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Cheers!